Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing that black teenager's family. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we did want to hear from the police department as well. They did release a statement. They announced an internal investigation. The prosecutor's office also involved. What do you want to happen here?
Well, we want there to be accountability. The problem here is, for years, African Americans have been saying the police treat us differently. The police presume we're guilty while they presume people who are white are innocent. And the reason we believe this video has gone viral with over 2 million people viewing it is because it shows a vivid example of what we've been proclaiming. I mean, there's no justification whatsoever other than the color of their skin that you can make a judgment that the black kid is guilty and we should put him face down, put a knee in his back and put him in handcuffs, while the kid who is presumed to be a white kid is allowed to sit on the couch and observe as we humiliate them. And then what is so telling is the white kid, who is presumed to be a white kid, puts his hands up after the female officer gets up to, because he thinks he's going to be handcuffed, and she taps him on the shoulder and says he's free to go, while Zakai, the young black kid, is taken and detained for 30 minutes, we believe, in violation of his Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable search and seizure. And if we let this be swept under the rug, because many people say, well, it's not that big of a deal, he wasn't hurt or anything. Well, there's a lot of psychological harm done to this kid, but worst of all, if you allow this to happen, then it gets worse and it could turn into something like a Trayvon Martin or an Ahmaud Arbery, or all the black men who are wrongfully convicted in American prisons in society today. So that's why this is such a big deal to so many African American parents.
I understand. What do we know about leading up to the attack? What kinds of calls came in? Do we know if there was maybe a call that said, you know, the other kid was the aggressor or was more dangerous?
Well, what we do know based on the video, and it's confirmed by several of the young people that were at the mall now, that the young kid who was presumed to be white was a high school student. Zakai was 14 years old in the 8th grade, and he was there with a 7th grade Hispanic kid who he felt was being bullied by the high school kid. And so Zakai did what we want our children to do. He tried to stand up to a bully, and you see the young man pointing his finger in Zakai's face, and then he'd knock his finger out his face, and then the young high school student pushed Zakai, and that's when the altercation happened. So it seems to be clearly from the video, he's the instigator. And when the police shows up, he's on top. The police take the high school kid, who they presume is white in our opinion, sit him on the couch, and then they take the black kid down.
Okay, Mr. Crump, I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but we actually do have Zakai and his mom, Ebene. They are joining us here live as well, so I want to get them in. Welcome to you both. Good morning. Zakai, I want to start with you. What led up to this attack, and tell us what happened?
So this high schooler was bullying my friend. He was bothering him, calling him little kid, saying he was a little pet and stuff like that. And I don't like the fact that he was bullying him because he was smaller. I say something about it, and then it's a heated conversation. He puts his hands in my face. I smack it away after asking him like twice to get his hands on my face. And then he pushes me, and then I start throwing punches. And then we end up on the ground. Cops come, the male officer, he puts his knee in my back and starts handcuffing me. And the female officer leaves the high schooler to come help put her knee in my back and put handcuffs on me.
All right.
And they have me in 30 minutes.
And Ebene, what was your reaction when you saw the video?
I was surprised because when I got there to pick him up, the way they explained it, I feel was very sugar-coated. I assumed I had another picture painted in my head completely. And then when I saw the video, I was like, oh, he never was put in handcuffs. And then I saw the video where after they had arrested my son, the other boy was sitting on the couch, free to go, and he puts his hands up like this, waiting to be handcuffed. And the female officer pretty much just tapped him on the shoulder and went like towards behind him on the side of him and just stood there.
And what was their explanation to you?
I haven't heard an explanation. I haven't heard from them at all. There's been nothing. They said it was basic procedure when they originally told me that he was handcuffed. They told me it was basic procedure, but basic procedure for who? Just the black kid?
And I asked Mr. Crump this earlier too. What do you want? What action are you taking? Are you taking legal action? What do you want to see happen here?
We will look at taking legal actions to make sure that there's accountability and that this isn't swept under the rug. We think it's that serious that if they sweep this under the rug, what happens next time when there are not cameras around?
So what legal action specifically? What specifically are you doing?
Well, we believe that he was falsely detained in violation of the Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. So we look at bringing a federal civil rights lawsuit in this matter to say to the Bridgewater, New Jersey Police Department, you're better than this.
Do you plan to file that? When do you plan to file that?
As soon as we get all the information.
And what information are you still waiting for?
We're taking statements from other children who were there because we want to make sure that we have not only the video, but we have the testimony to correlate what happened. Even though, let's be clear, this investigation doesn't have to be exhausted. It's a matter of days. This can be concluded. We see what happened with our eyes because when black people do things that people find illegal or immoral on video, there's no long investigation. They will go ahead and have accountability. But when we're the victim, seems like we have to investigate things ad nauseum for months. So to Governor Murphy, who said there's an investigation, we expect that investigation to be swift because we have ocular proof of what transpired.
Quickly, before I let you go, because we're out of time, I want to ask about the other child who was involved. Latinos statistically also have been targeted. Initially, it was thought that he was white. He's not white. He's Latino. That probably, I would assume, would be an argument that the police will make, that this wasn't
I think it's a
racial
weak
bias.
argument because it seems to be that they thought he was a white kid, but we welcome their explanation because it's very clear to us. We saw from Trayvon and every other case when people are presumed white, then they are treated differently from African Americans.
All right, Mr. Crump, Zakai, and Ebene, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us this morning. I know it's early. We appreciate getting your perspective on this story.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.